Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Rejoice Christian Eagles Coaches Show, coming to you from the patio here live at Mad Eats here at 76 Main here in Owasso, where you can get fantastic food and shakes, and I see you can get desserts over there. I've already
It's that
seen
pie, yeah.
I know, and I've already seen the Oriental chicken Oriental salad, and I haven't eaten, so it looked really good. I'm Bill Bush, joined here tonight by my wingman Mark Kirk. Coach Brent Marley, head coach of the Rejoice Christian Eagles. Brandon Johnson, the special teams and safeties coach for the Eagles. And we're going to discuss the blowout win over Caney Valley Trojans, and then tomorrow night's regular season final game against the Pawhuska Huskies. The win last week improved the undefeated Eagles' record to 9-0 overall and 6-0 in district play, and clinched the 2A 8 district championship for the second year in a row. Repeat champions. That's kind of repeating that. I mean,
That's nice.
You've got the one that says district champ. Now you're going to get another jersey or hoodie this year. Repeat champions, I guess.
I like the ones back to back and back again kind of thing.
Yeah, there you go. Back to back,
like
back
back to
again.
I should let you guys design it. You guys,
Been there, done that.
yeah.
Right? So a quick recap of the game, and again, it was all Eagles all night. Started out with, in the first quarter, Jace Jenkins' 16-yard run to open scoring, with the Maverick Price PAT being good. Then Kel Marley on a 14-yard run with the PAT good again by Price. Kale then had a 20-yard interception return on defense and returned that for a TD. The PAT was good again by Price. Marley to Cooper Auschwitz, 29-yard touchdown pass, and again Maverick Price was able to kick the PAT. 27-yard TD pass from Marley to Bryce Rivard made it 35-0 with a good PAT. Jace Jenkins finished out the first quarter scoring with his second TD run, 11-yard run to end the scoring in the first quarter. And again, PAT was good by Price. In the second quarter, started seeing a lot of the subs coming in, a lot of 2s and 3s, which is, we talked about a little bit after the game. That can be a good thing and that can be a bad thing, and we'll talk a little more about that. But Camden Ryan come in, took over as quarterback, and scored the first TD in the second quarter on a 5-yard TD run. PAT again good by Price. And then it made it a 56-0 ball game when Cooper Auschwitz scored his second TD of the night on an 8-yard pass from Ryan, with Maverick Price PAT good. In the third quarter, starting the second half, before exiting the game with an injury, and we'll talk a little bit about that too, which I didn't know at the time, but because we were wondering in the booth, okay, why did Ethan Evans come in for a play or so, and then now Camden Ryan's back in the game. But Evans, freshman Ethan Evans, tossed a 12-yard touchdown pass to sophomore Brock Hicks with the PAT by freshman, and I know that this excites the special teams coach, but freshman Duncan Andrus with the good PAT. And then Camden re-entered the game and tossed a 38-yard touchdown pass to Devin Skeistis, who was our defensive player of the game last week. And again, a good Andrus PAT. And then Caney Valley in the fourth quarter, the only scoring was Caney Valley scored to avert the shutout on a 3-yard run with their PAT failed. Some of the numbers quickly for the offense. Kale Marley was 9 for 10, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 rushes for 17 yards and a touchdown. Camden Ryan was 9 for 10 for 88 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 rushes for 22 yards and a TD. Ethan Evans was 1 for 1 with 12 yards and a touchdown, 2 rushes for 16 yards. So you had, looking at those quarterback numbers, your 19 of 32 and 6 touchdowns in the air and 2 on the ground. Pretty productive night for your quarterbacks.
Yeah, absolutely. We wanted to go in and be productive with chance out, just continue taking care of the ball and making smart decisions on our throws and reads, and we took a few chances, but we wound up completing some couple deep balls, and had some guys make plays. Looking at those numbers too, like Devin Skeistis, I think it was a 38-yard touchdown, and it was actually about a 3 or 4 yard forward pass that he took to the house and shook some people and had made a great move. But yeah, that's the quarterback play was really well, and you don't want the quarterback play to hurt you in Chance's absence, but just to play sharp and help you win.
I think they did that. I think they proved that there's more than one, even more than one guy that can come in and still operate the offense.
Oh, absolutely. I think just once again just proved the number of weapons are on Rejoice's side of the ball, whether it's offense or defense. Just have a number of weapons out there, and it really does make a difference who you put in that position. They're still going to be successful.
Yeah, and
that's what we've seen.
Talking about those weapons, I mean, you had Bryce Rivard. I misspelled his name here, but I was the only one that could see that. I didn't have to tell you that even. 6 catches for 75 yards and a touchdown. Josh Hendrick had 1 catch for 12-yard TD. Cooper Oshwich 5 catches, 61 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Devin Skeistis had that 1 catch for a 38-yard touchdown. In rushing, some of the top rushers. And even though this isn't everybody that touched the ball, we'll talk about it in a second, but just kind of the highlights. Drevin Reed had 4 carries for 22 yards. Jace Jenkins, our offensive player of the game, had 5 carries, 29 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Luke Schaefer, I believe, is he a sophomore, I believe?
Freshman.
Luke Schaefer had 5 carries for 42 yards. He actually led in yardage as far as on the ground. And so for the second week in a row, the game was decided in the first quarter. I mean, and going into it, you pretty much knew that. But, I mean, you're up 42-0, and you knew you were going to get a win. But also for the second week in a row, was there anybody that didn't get into the ball game? I mean, there had to be, because we were looking at it earlier. I think there were 22 different guys that touched the ball on offense, and I think there were 15, or I might have had this flip-flop, but 17 different players touched the ball on offense, either receiving or rushing, and I think we had 22 different guys that were in on tackles. I mean, that's 37 players. I mean, was anybody not in the game?
You know, that's a tough question. I don't know. I think we had 11 different kids catch a football.
Yeah.
I think we had 8 different or 9 different kids run a football. You know, and I know Coach Johnson does a good job of, he's got his A team, his B team, his C team, his D team. I don't know. He's got all these teams. It seems like in practice.
You do have a punting team, though, right?
Yeah, but we never use it.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is fine with me. It's a bad 4-letter word.
Yeah, punt. Yeah. Yeah, and so, but again, and we talked about it a little bit. You know, you have Cale. The last 2.5 games that's probably given him a lot of confidence, being able to. I mean, he comes in for the Veneta game, able to finish strong. We finished that game strong, and then he's able to start these last 2 games. But you know, it's got to give him confidence to go in and be the starter. But you know, did they challenge him though? I mean, as far as these last 2 games.
Yeah, he has seemed pretty even kill. I think he was pumped for the Veneta opportunity, not with what's going on with Chance, but he was. I mean, he told me that night, like I've mentioned before, that he, you know, one play he was nervous, and after one play he was ready to go, and he felt like we had total control of the game, and nothing bad was going to happen. He liked that opportunity. The last 2 games, I don't know if it's been good for him or not, because again, there's not been a whole lot of a challenge. And I don't say that. It's just, like you said, I mean, it doesn't really matter what we do, throw it, run it, whatever. We've been able to have success and get a bunch of points up in the first quarter, you know. And so hopefully, you know, I think tomorrow night, we'll get to that in a little bit. But, you know, it's the challenge will be more so tomorrow. But hopefully it is reps, and so we needed that. Get Chance back hopefully soon.
Yep.
And you know, get some experience for Cale in the meantime, and Cam.
Yeah. Well, and you know, and then Cale again. Or both of them, they need to get quality reps in their normal positions that they would normally play. You know, Chances in there too. So I think that's the other thing. It's really kind of been hard these last couple of weeks to get those quality reps in there.
Yeah, Cale's not gotten hardly any receiver. You know, because when you pull them and start playing other people, we're really starting to pull a lot of people and play a lot of people, and so anyway, there's been a little bit of shifting around at that, but we've gotten some more depth too. Like Maverick Price got a little more time at safety, because Cale's really going too. Both ways, and playing quarterback is a little more strenuous on you, but. Anyway, I think there's some advantages.
Hey, it did take you longer than 10 seconds to score the first touchdown this time, though. So it was.
Mark talked about that. I said, "Yeah, Mark, it took 55 this time." So I mean,
it was close. Though.
Slacking off.
It was close. Exactly.
And talking about that, as far as the special teams, I mean, how have they progressed in your from what you see? Because it looks like there's been very few breakdowns this year, all season long, especially the second half of the season. On special teams, on coverage, and on return. What's your assessment of it to this point?
Return, we don't get a whole lot of opportunities, and I understand. I wouldn't want to kick to those guys back there anyway. But when we do get our chances, like, it was good to see us block it up right at Nowata and hit that crease, and almost had it last week too. That's the only kick returns we've had a chance. Punt, you can see they're not really. They're just kicking it out of bounds.
Yeah.
Kale almost took that one back against Nowata, and they decided that was it. But kickoff coverage team has gotten so much better over the last 5 weeks. We're getting down
getting plenty of practice.
Average starting field position 19, and we can take that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we're and that's running with, last 2 weeks has been a lot of 2s and 3s going and covering down, and they've been doing great, staying in their lanes, coming to balance. Missed one that we could have jumped on, but I've been pretty happy with all of them going down.
So when you say you've had a lot of 2s and 3s, is that due to injuries, or is that just due to kind of banged up and you just don't need them banged up any further, and that the 2 and 3s are becoming your 1s because they're doing the job?
Right. And they're getting more reps than some of the 1s, and the injuries, has to do with it. Plus, you want to keep guys fresh.
My friends, to interrupt, we did have someone calling a special order for
Oh my God!
Wow. Wow, get interrupted on the coach's show.
And can you tell that you're at Mad Eats? I mean, if you've seen any shakes like this anywhere else in Tulsa County, tell me where it's at, because I don't believe it exists.
There's
so
a piece of
thank you
pecan
so
pie.
much.
There's pecan pie stuck in this
Man.
one.
Yeah, this. Did you see this?
Coach Willis, if he's watching, he's going to be mad that he didn't.
Todd, this is a shake with a piece of pecan pie jutting out of the top of it. I mean, that's nuts. That's mad. That's why they call it Mad Eats. So, yeah.
Wow.
Okay, you're going to have to wait till
Thank
after
you.
the show, guys.
Okay.
Please, especially me and Coach Johnson. We've got mustache and beard.
Hey, you know what? We got some other guys coming up here in a minute that probably
this may not even
descend
be
on
here
this
by
like
the
a herd
time
of
we get out.
locusts.
Yeah,
So anyway,
absolutely.
We need to go to a break and take care of this before these guys get up here.
The show, we don't have that long in the show. So, and as Coach alluded to, Mark alluded to, we are going to have some special guests tonight. We've got some players here that Coach Marley is going to talk about, and we'll do that here before we talk about tomorrow night's game.
You have a question?
Yeah. So, and also, we've got a question. I want to remind everyone that if you have any questions or comments, we usually have one specific coach that likes to comment, and so you're welcome to go ahead and do that. I'm sure you've got just an insightful comment for tonight's game, so we welcome that. But if you have any comments or questions, just click on the link on your YouTube link there, and our engineer will make sure that we get those questions. We have a question from Cheryl Witten, and she's wondering, is it hard to get enough reps for those that play both ways to learn both the plays and the schemes that you use?
I would say for those that go both ways, it's not that difficult because we, being a smaller school, we segment practices. We don't have like the offense on one side of the field, the defense on the other. And man, the defensive kids we've got to figure out how to get them down to the offensive side that go both ways. So we have an offensive emphasis day and a defensive emphasis day. And so everybody is doing a defensive individual, defensive position groups, and then team groups on defense. And then offensively the next day it's the same thing. Now at the end of the defensive day we have an offensive team period, usually a couple offensive, some offensive time, and then vice versa on the offensive day we have defensive time at the end. So we're hitting on everything, and then Coach Johnson has special teams kind of trickled in throughout the schedule each day. But yeah, they get it on both ends.
Well, got smart guys, and you got intelligent guys. They can usually pick
up on it.
ways.
Yeah, exactly, and then get those repetitions in. Yeah, it's watching it from the outside. It's not a simplistic offense by any stretch, right? So I think there's a lot to gain, and a lot to take in to be able to get competent with it.
Yeah, we ask a lot of them. I mean, a lot of our offense this year, the turbo stuff that we do is all it's memorization. It's like the memory game. You turn over the card, you got to find the other one. You got to piece it together and remember what that last one was, and then how that builds on the next one. It's one of those things that defensively, kind of Coach Eckel builds it too. And we start off with base and just a couple calls, and then add on. And as you add on each day, it kind of then all of a sudden you got your system.
Build off of it.
Yep.
Yeah, and looked like we were going to have another shutout, but I'm sure Coach Eckel was not, real happy with giving up the shutout. But And it looks like we know where it's no more. Looks like Mark Mackin was we're the benefactor of his blessing us with these. My blood sugar's already gone through the roof. Just looking at him, Mark, my blood sugar's already gone.
Well,
through
we're gonna
the
have
roof,
to get like a wide angle attachment for the lens to go on the camera anyway. It's much, anyway.
But some of the defensive leaders, like I say, we did lose the shutout, but. How do you keep a defense focused when it's that lopsided? I mean,
I'll let Coach Johnson answer.
Sure.
Well, they want a donut up there.
Yeah.
So that's their main goal every game. Doesn't matter what the score is. They want a shutout. And then the backup guys come in, and they're right there with them. We want donuts on Saturday.
Yeah, and they want it. Even the backup guys, they want it because they know they're going to get a hard time from the the starters if they don't. So some of our defensive leaders were our defensive player of the game was Devin Skeistis. He had 2 tackles, solo, a fumble. One was a solo tackle, a fumble recovery, and a pass breakup. Josh Hendrick had 5 tackles, 4 solos, 3 for loss. Camden Ryan was in on 5 tackles. Isaac Barnett, 5 tackles, 4 solos, and a sack. Cooper Auschwitz, 5 tackles, 4 solos, 1 for a loss, and a sack. Marshall Hefner, 2 tackles, a sack, and a fumble recovery. Cale Marley, 2 tackles, and an interception, returned for a touchdown and a pass breakup. And some of the names you don't necessarily hear. Ryson Golightly and Wes Gibson each with 3 solo tackles, and then Drevin Reed with an interception. And that's what I was talking about earlier. 22 guys in on tackles.
Yeah, that's great.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no 2 ways around that. I mean, that's guys coming in getting experience and getting that real-time game experience as opposed to doing it in practice. Right. It just has a whole different level of excitement to it and energy, and I think the long-term benefits of having that happen are just going to just continue to compound as we move forward.
It's great being able to get a lot of those guys live reps and then put it on film to see what they can do and see where they need to be. But, yeah, I think we got just about everybody in. We got 500 corners, but I think we got just about everyone in there.
But you talked about the players. I mean, at least 7 freshmen got into the game, and many of them were on our list of guys that had either a catch or a rush or a tackle or in on a tackle. I mean, does it help? And this is one of the questions I was going to ask you, and you and I kind of talked about it. Does it help or hurt getting all that playing time for the 2s and 3s because you're not able to get your starters in? I know a lot of people think that, why are they leaving the starters in, in the second quarter? They're leading 42 to nothing. But if you don't, they're not getting the reps that they need to get to keep sharp.
Stay sharp.
Yeah, people wonder that, but then all of a sudden we're getting in the playoffs next week, postseason, and you get in a 4-quarter fight, and the team you're playing their starters have played 4 quarters for 4 weeks in a row to win ball games. That's shape work that you cannot simulate in practice. Now, how much you sprint, whatever you do, and then your kids have only played a quarter or 2 quarters, and they will not be ready and conditioned for that 4-quarter game. So it's such a juggling act, and you also want to get them out to keep them healthy.
Exactly.
If you're healthy.
It's how do you weigh that?
Yeah, those young guys playing, it helps us create depth, but it really bodes well more for the future. For next year for a lot of them.
Right.
Because let's call it what it is. I mean, each game is just going to get tougher and tougher from here on out.
Yeah.
So those guys are probably going to get to play less and less from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely. 45-second timeout. Do a little shifting around up here. And Coach Marley's got some special guests that he is going to bring up to the table. And we're going to take all these away because these special guests will take all of them. So, no, I'm kidding. But anyway, let's take a 45-second timeout, and we'll be back with our special guests.
All right, welcome back. I get to play host now, so this is going to be fun. We're back here at the Rejoice Eagles Coaches Show. Coach Marley here, and I've got, like Bill said, 3 special guests, 3 special guys to me, to our coaching staff, 3 seniors, not only seniors, but captains on our team. And how these guys get selected as captains is that the players, their peers, they vote in the summer, towards the end of the summer, after all of our work has been done, of who's been, putting in the work and been consistent and led by example. And I got these 3 guys here. We'll start over here. Tell us your name, son.
I'm Dalton Close,
Number,
59.
position,
I play nose guard and right tackle.
nose guard and right tackle. Both sides of the ball, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you've been doing a great job this year.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, and you're not done. Right here.
Number 54, Peyton Cole. I play offensive guard and middle linebacker.
That's right. Okay. Doing a great job, and
Thank you, sir.
and he's the guy that holds us down in the middle. Well, you kind of both do, right?
Yeah,
That's
me
good.
And, me and Dalton.
Yeah, right here.
I'm number 57, Marshall Hefner. I play defensive end and right guard.
Marshall Hefner. Okay, so you guys, you've watched the show, you watch our live stream, you come to our games, you've heard all these names: Dalton Close, Marshall Hefner, Peyton Cole, multiple times. These guys are in on tackles a lot. They're, offensively, you probably don't hear their names as much because they're making us be able to go, because they're doing all the work up front. So we've always said if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the ball. And if you control the ball, you control the score. So these guys help us do that. I just want to talk to you guys real quick. We don't have a whole lot of time, but I want to, you guys tell me what has been like so far this season. What has been maybe one of your main highlights of the season so far?
I'd say probably my main highlight right now would be just being 9-0. There's nothing better than that. Knowing that nobody's beaten us and nobody will beat us, and thinking like that we're undefeated is just huge. Especially, I've been on teams that have not been great, and just seeing, how hard we've worked and what we've done to become this is it just really means a lot to me. And just seeing everybody just, happy about being 9-0.
It's great. What you guys?
You want me to go first?
I'll go. I'll probably say, just being a part of a brotherhood, not just going 9-0, but seeing the things that, we do with each other on and off the field, going to baptisms, encouraging each other, saying hi in the hallways, hugs. We're all brothers. I mean, that's really a important part to me more than wins and losses.
Yep, absolutely, and that's I love both your answers, but that's great. Brotherhood's one of our goals, and we have that on our wall, and we talk about it, and that's what we want to accomplish.
Man, they stole most of mine. Just like they said, being 9-0 is just amazing. Back in our sophomore year, not a great record, but us working hard and stepping it up is really an accomplishment. And I want to be a little selfish, unlike these guys, and talk about my favorite moment is that touchdown against Beggs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's you, man.
Yeah, no, you need that because I think it
chase
was
that.
Mark Kirk said a lineman's dream, I mean, you blocked a punt and then picked it up and ran it in for a touchdown. You should. That'll be a moment you'll never forget for the rest of your life. And those should be your favorite moments, right?
Making Coach Jay proud,
So,
for sure.
Okay, one more question. We'll just kind of go around here. We're getting we're at the end of the regular season tomorrow, and so it's inevitable. We're nearing the end, whenever that is. But what is something that you still want to do, maybe personally in the season or collectively as a team, that you want to accomplish?
I'll let Dalton go first on this one.
First, okay. Well, personally, I want to break Caleb Wood's tackle record.
Okay.
For my personal goal. And for a team goal, I just want us to be able to stay focused and stay together. Last year, towards the end, we kind of started fighting a little bit, and that's not what I want to happen this year. I want us to all band together and stay focused on our final goal. We're not done.
Amen. It's good.
My personal and team goals kind of go hand in hand. Like Coach Eckel says all the time, we can't peak in the early season, against Beggs, for example. Need to peak in the state championship, which is where I know we all plan on going. I want to have my best game in the postseason, and I want the team to have their best game in the postseason, preferably state, but,
Yep. It's great.
My personal goal would probably be to score a touchdown. I've played football for probably who knows how many years now, since I was in like first or second grade, and never even carried the ball in a game. And I do think that would be really cool. But if it doesn't happen, then I'll know that I left it all on the field and it just didn't happen. But as a team, I I still don't think we've played our best game, and I hope we don't play the best game of our lives until that moment where we need to. But I really think that a goal that I have for the team is just to hit that right moment where we're just firing on all cylinders and we're just executing.
I love that answer. It's almost like just goal to just give us the opportunity to have that moment, that one moment in time. I think there's a Whitney Houston had a song, I think, One Moment in Time. Okay, is this probably for you guys? Are all the players? This is from Coach Willis. He's our offensive coordinator. He does a great job. Not so much on the questions though. Are all the players having a contest to see who can have the goofiest haircut during the season, and who is winning that contest?
I think it's me.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with.
Yeah, we got business in the front, party in the back going on over here.
You want to do a little spin for us?
Yeah.
So is that a contest? I mean, is it?
Well, I'm more of on the mustache deal. I kind of got a little bit of a Top Gun mustache going, and
Okay.
I wanted to go for the mullet, but unfortunately, yeah.
Marshall can't drink those much.
Okay, we got another one here. Mark Mackin says, Casey, that's a great question. Are they having to get bigger helmets for all the hair? Okay. No, we've been able to stay with the same size, I think. Yeah. So they just squeeze their heads in there. And
Naturally big head.
Yeah.
You just can't see sometimes.
You have to wear a headband. Yeah.
I get away with not, surprisingly.
Oh, yeah.
All my hair's in the back.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. What we want to close out for, let these guys go, is something we did, the other day just for brotherhood. We called the captains into the office, and thankful to Jared Glover of Jim Glover Dodge for having these FCA coins made. And we gave each captain one, and it says FCA, the logo's on the front. It says pray always there in the front. And I didn't get a manicure, so don't look at the fingernails. And on the back, it's got a football player with his equipment on, and it talks about the whole armor of God and being equipped in the whole armor of God, Ephesians 6:10 through 18. And we walked that through with these guys, kind of the whole armor of God and the importance of that, and being equipped. Not only like we get equipped for a football game, and we get in trouble if we're illegally equipped, like we don't have the right stuff on or not enough stuff, our knee pads are not, whatever. Well, in life, we talk to these guys about being equipped, because the things are going to be thrown at you, and we say the word adversity.
Yeah.
Okay, and they start yelling, whatever, because that's going to happen. The storms in life will come, but we challenge them to rise above, and and that's what we want them to do through this program. So, anyway, I appreciate you guys coming on. Looking for big nights tomorrow night out of you guys, and an even bigger ending as we go through these next hopefully 6 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you guys.
I'm
We'll
off.
take a break, and we'll be back.
All right, good job, guys. And I know there's, like I say, we hear these guys all the time, their names and stuff, and you folks see them on the field with their helmets and everything on, but you don't, if you saw their faces, you would think, well, who's that guy? Because they all look the same, except maybe a different size with their helmets on. So it's nice to see them, out from underneath that helmet. I know we've talked about how Dalton Close, we talk about the numbers, and Coach Eccles always talking about this, and that Dalton would probably be leading the team in tackles, except he's double teamed all the time. One of the best nose guards out there, and it's kind of hard to do when you got two guys. But that means that somebody else is not being blocked, and that's going to allow somebody else to get in and make a play. We've seen a lot of sacks and a lot of tackles for loss. We also had Peyton Cole.
Well, I'm still firmly convinced that also that has a lot to do with a lot of the weird snaps we've seen from a lot of the opposing teams, too.
Yeah.
Having a nose guard top him. I think that's definitely impacted several games.
Right, and Peyton Cole, we have called his name in a lot as far as number of tackles, and then I've heard Coach Marley talk about Marshall Hefner being the best pulling guard in the state. And so, I mean, all these guys play a role, and those roles are significant, whether they're on the offense or defensive side of the ball. So it's good to see those guys. Hopefully we'll get some more guys next week and kind of
Start
finish
bringing
up the
some
year. Especially with our seniors, to get them all a chance to kind of express
and maybe carry the ball once.
Yeah, because there may be a time when you're down, first or goal.
Did Dalton just text you?
First and goal, and you're needing a big fullback, guy just to bust over the heavy package.
So pulling guard is the new fullback. That is the fullback, right?
Well, just quickly, we'll talk about tomorrow night's game. Were you going to say something?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, no, not touching that one. Well, tomorrow night we go on the road up to Pawhuska. They didn't. I think we were talking about that earlier. We picked up a game last year with them, right? Whenever we had a cancellation.
It was 2 years ago during the COVID year. Yep.
So we didn't play them last year.
No.
But 2 years ago we went up Pawhuska, and they didn't treat us very well. So we're hoping to go up and return that favor tomorrow night. But it is on the road in Pawhuska, where we'll take on the Huskies. Regardless of what happens, we're finishing first. They're finishing fourth. So that being the case, is that a game that, what do you do in a game like that as far as if you do get a lead or if you don't get a lead or whatever? Because it doesn't really, other than bragging rights for them and other than going undefeated for us, that's all it really counts for, right?
Yeah, you look at these games, there's always that question, what do you do? And I've evaluated, and we did my first year at Rejoice went and played 8-air. It was non-conference. It really didn't matter. We talked to the guys, hey, it doesn't really matter, whatever. You went up there, we didn't play well, you lay an egg. You can't play this game like that. You cannot. So if you're going to play the game, well, we got to stay healthy. We got to be ready for playoffs. Yeah, we do. But if you don't want to stay healthy, then go up to Pawhuska and kind of go half rear and don't get after it, and then somebody's going to get hurt. And you got to go 100 miles an hour, and you got to go play, and you got to go play to win. And you got to give them everything you've got and not hold back. And we need to be hitting on all cylinders with – I know we're going to get some people back next week, but we need to hit on all cylinders with the best we can with what we got right now. And I just think you got to play this game and turn the scoreboard on. And so we got to go play.
And so even players that could possibly play tomorrow night, you probably don't want them playing just to heal up, because you're going to playoffs next week.
We've got, yes, a couple that could play tomorrow night, one in particular, and but we're gonna wait, and it's I think that's being smart too, protecting the team. It's kind of a rule, but when you go and they turn, like I said, they turn the scoreboard on, you got to go compete. Yeah, a competitor can't light switch it up and down. We talk about that all the time.
It's not modulated. It's either on or it's off.
Right. And we don't want to teach our kids that it can be on or off.
Right.
So hopefully we go and it's on. Yeah.
It's on.
Yeah.
There's only one way. When the whistle blows, it's on.
Well, you want to be just like, and some of the guys like Cooper Auschwitz. This guy's motor's running all the time. And so these guys that we saw tonight, their motor is running all the time. And when you have your motor revved up, you just want to leave it revved up.
Right.
And there are some guys like Coop that just, I don't care what time of the game it is or how lopsided it is. He's going to hit you in the mouth, and now he'll shake your hand and be just as cordial,
Help you
nice
back
as
up.
can. Yeah. But when you you strap the helmet on and you're across the line from him, look out. Just don't touch the ball. It's one of these guys that I don't want it. Just, here, you take it. Well, we do want a big crowd up there tomorrow night. Like I say,
the Huskies will have a crowd.
They will have a crowd.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
We've always traveled well. A little bit of revenge, like I say, a couple of years. We always go up there for the, what do they call it, the Pioneer Woman Classic.
Pioneer Woman Classic.
Yeah.
They do a great job.
They do an awesome job. They treat us real well. Everybody goes up there and has a good time. But, this is for some big bragging rights here in Northeast Oklahoma. You got one of the best teams in Northeast Oklahoma in Tulsa County taking on perennial, one of the best teams that have always been up in Pawhuska and Osage County. Mm-hmm. So we got two counties competing. So let's let Tulsa County win this one tomorrow night. But those guys feed off you guys, and it is a blast to see us just have no rooms left on the visiting side when we go on the road. It's just kind of like our bragging right at Rejoice, because we do it every single game.
It's impressive.
Whether we're going 2 hours to Cashin or just going an hour to Pawhuska, or we're going, we know it's going to be a blowout in Nowata. It doesn't matter. You guys travel so well, and I know you guys appreciate it. Because Obviously, I mean, we've seen some crowds on the visiting side of our games, and you feel bad for them, the players,
yeah.
because there's just a smattering of players or fans in the crowd. These guys appreciate it. The players appreciate it. But if you can't make it, we understand. I mean, you got something else, and it is tomorrow night. It's not Friday. I don't care what your schedule says. Everything's been moved back because of impending weather possibly on Friday night. So make sure you go up tomorrow night, because you go up Friday night, you're going to be a lonely individual.
Watching the Lightning.
Yeah, you're going to be up watching the Lightning show, not the football show, or the greatest. And they've got turf, so it's still the greatest show on turf up here. So we want you to come up and take advantage of that. Coach Johnson, any final thoughts before we're going up tomorrow night?
Better be ready. Going to be the best quarterback we've seen. He can sling it. He's a good athlete.
Last name's Drummond. I heard those guys have some pretty good lineage there.
Yeah. These guys right here, they got to get after him. Be smart, sink in our zones, read our keys. Should be good.
Coach Marley?
Just we challenge them. I told the boys yesterday that, and I think the coaches all echoed it. We just got a feeling it's going to be a battle. I mean, and it's going to be a tough game. We've had 2 weeks where we haven't had to fight, so we got to be ready to fight and fight for. We always say 5 quarters because 4 is not enough, but fight for 5 quarters. Go in there and get in a slugfest and give it all you've got. Coach Hennessy, their head coach, their staff, they did a great job. Great football coach and staff, and they've got a lot of great culture there. So. It'll be fun to go play them, and they're a very, very good 4 seed. I'll leave it at that.
And are most games, as far as in the playoffs, going to be on Friday nights for the most part, as far as you know?
I think they all will be on Friday nights from here on out, unless there's a weather type situation again.
Okay. So next week we'll be back down here at Mad Eats on Thursday night, prior to the Friday night first playoff game, and we want to thank all of you guys for watching us. I want to thank Mark Mackin for filling in for me while I was off
and the
eating
refreshments.
lobsters.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Mark.
And Mark, thanks for this.
Big time, Mark.
Yeah. My body will pay for it later, but appreciate it now. But anyway, tomorrow night, if you can't make it up to the game, you can join us right here, Mark and I, live on this Rejoice Athletics TV channel, and the previews or the preview game or this game or this show will preview about 6:20 somewhere
Ish.
in there, 6:20-ish. We'll go on the air live about 5 till 7, and we'll bring you all the live action. So
as long as we have power, we have internet.
As we found out, that wasn't necessarily the case.
You can't always assume those things these days.
But for tonight, for Mark Kirk, Coach Marley, Coach Johnson, for our engineer Todd Whitten, and all our special guests, Marshall Hefner, Peyton Cole, and Dalton Close, we appreciate you guys coming out. And if you can't make it, watch us tomorrow night. We thank you for joining us on this Rejoice Christian Eagles Coaches Show. And for all my special guests, I'm Bill Bush, and you've been watching the Rejoice Christian Eagles Coaches Show on this Athletic TV channel. That's Rejoice Athletic TV YouTube channel. Yeah, too much. We got to find a way to just make that shorter.
.com.
Good night. God bless, and go Eagles.